Yeah, we've lost the flow now. We've lost the flow
No, we
of
can do it again. We're actors, isn't it?
Well, is this all an act?
Is scripted?
What?
How dare you, sir?
This is unbelievable.
Hello and welcome to the Video Gamer UK podcast. My name is Chris Bratt, and today I am joined by It's a Cloudy Future.
Hello.
For Microsoft. According to David Scammell.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank
I've got to stop doing that voice.
Yeah. I don't know, it seems to be going down quite well, to be honest.
It's weird, isn't it?
Your new outro is my favourite thing on the video side.
Well, there's a few of those, I think, we've got lined up, hopefully. Braz is deciding what ones are clean and what ones are not.
Well, I don't think there was much of a
Well, no, that's the wrong word, yeah. What ones are appropriate to use and what ones are just a little bit too much.
Simon seems a little bit upset today. He's been dribbled on in the
Yeah, I did get dribbled on in the gym. I did.
God.
So, you know, you can't, unless you've been dribbled on, you can't understand what I've been through. So therefore, only I know. And it wasn't like a sexual thing before anyone thinks I enjoyed it. Good. I didn't enjoy it. But I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm here. I'm back. I've been on the podcast for a while. Everyone should be fucking excited.
And professional speedrunner, Mr. Stephen Burns.
Yep.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good. Have you been dribbled on in any kind of capacity
well,
recently?
I paid for it.
What a weird question.
Only when I pay for it, and only when I'm out of the country, because there's some EU labour laws about dribbling on people, and it gets funny. But you know,
fuck, I don't know where to go from that.
Games. Talk about some games.
Video games.
There's no games, isn't there? I don't know what you talked about last week. I haven't listened to it, so I assume you discussed Titanfall, and I assume Dark Souls 2. Nothing else has come out since then, has it?
Infamous is Friday.
Jim's been playing Infamous.
Tomorrow, though, right? So you actually...
We can talk a bit about Infamous.
Let's talk about
Infamous in general. I don't like Infamous. I think the series is boring. There you go. That's what I think.
I hate that guy's beanie hat.
I think it tries to be too cool, Infamous. Every time I see someone playing
cool about beanie hats.
But do you know what I mean? Like the feeling I always get from it is they want this to be like achingly... maybe polished isn't the right word. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They want people to go, wow, man, that is a cool game.
It looks nice, right?
Yeah,
it looks nice.
But then I see people playing and it just looks really by the numbers and a bit boring and a bit uninspired.
That's Infamous.
Yeah, I don't really know what the appeal is. I don't know what people play it for.
It's like my first open world game.
That's the thing. It's like an open world where there's nothing to do. So it's like it's just the open world for the sake of being open world.
Yeah, but this time they've got the excuse that it's Seattle.
And
that's why there's nothing to do.
Oh, right.
Because in the last ones were quite boring. The cities were really boring.
City? Is that what it was called?
I can't remember.
It was called some shit like that?
Yeah.
Something really boring.
Really dull. And this time I get the impression that maybe this one could be similar, but because it's Seattle, you know, how much creative freedom can they have when they've got proper Seattle in there? So
yeah, that's passing the buck.
That's
isn't
a
it?
really, really bad excuse.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't used that as an excuse, but
it seems to be the way.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, you know, treading on the embargo line here, from what I can gather, this one does seem to be ticking exactly the same boxes. You know, bit dull, bit boring, not a lot to do.
There is a fan base there that obviously wants those boxes ticked, but I
love open world games, and I love that collectible side of it. And from what I've played of it, and I can't say too much, I'm not reviewing it, but I've tried a little bit of it. And it had what I called Saboteur Syndrome. So did you play the Saboteur?
Saboteur,
where there was so much like side stuff. I never actually bothered to do the main quest. And I got burnt out on all the side stuff. And I couldn't be bothered with it. And I got to a similar point in Infamous where I tried to finish a lot of the different districts, I think they call them, complete all of that stuff. And I was like, it's all the same now.
I think I'm usually pretty good at, if I realise I'm not having fun with the side stuff, like I've stopped collecting, you know, dog tags or whatever.
But the side stuff is kind of the core of the game because the main missions are just a bit
okay.
I'm saying too much.
Well, this is your criticism on the series as a whole, not.
Of course. I haven't played Infamous 2, but of course.
Okay.
I don't see where the appeal lies. I think it's like it's another one of those Sony first party exclusives that it just lost on me entirely. I know a lot of people like Resistance 3, but I still see that trilogy as just meh, whatever. Killzone's the most boring game ever made. And then you got Infamous, which is kind of like, yeah, it's okay. But it's not enough to make you buy a PS4, and that's surely why it exists.
The problem Sony has at the moment is they need to get out of this sort of solid 7 period they're going through. Like all of their games are all right, but they're not as good as they should be.
No, it's true.
And I think Infamous may be another one of those games. I think Drive Club will be another one of those games. And I can't think of a single announced PS4 game, first party wise, that maybe could get out of that, other than Uncharted, but we haven't seen any of that.
No.
So
The Order kind of looks a bit...
The Order, I think, will be the same.
Yeah, I do. I totally agree. The Order to me looks like something I'd play in July. You know what I mean? Sat around, a bit bored. I'll try the order for a couple of hours.
July's a pretty standard month for you.
They're safe games, though, aren't they? Oh, it's a driving game. Oh, it's a shootan game.
It's weird because I've just come out of PS3 era. Totally opposite. Like they had Beyond, they tried Heavy Rain. And,
Beyond.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't very good, but at least it tried different things. And
The Last of Us was pretty good, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. The Last of Us was good, but that came from a studio that's now proven itself to just be. I mean, I only soundtrack 3, but that was like by the B team. The A team at Naughty Dog just makes good games, and also they're not in the same. They don't seem to have the same prerequisites that other first-party studios do. I think Naughty Dog probably have a lot more creative freedom than, say, Sucker Punch. I may be wrong with that, but I imagine Sony lean on them a little bit more.
Naughty Dog can do whatever.
That's what I mean.
Naughty Dog are the boys, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're Sony's men.
I'm right in thinking the lead gameplay designer from Sucker Punch left this week. Is that usual on the week of release? Because it seems like a bad message.
It is if he doesn't like his game and he wants to distance himself.
I'll tell you what else it follows shortly after. Almost all of the creatives behind Yiba leaving the day before the game comes out, and that went down well, didn't it?
Oh, yes, I played Yiba.
Yeah.
I saw little bits and pieces of it. You didn't look like you were...
That's dreadful. It's an embarrassment.
There's a scene where you drive a truck into a woman's,
Yeah. Well,
That is weird, isn't it?
Dave, that's incorrect. You don't drive the truck. A zombie that you threw into the truck that somehow now drives the truck. And it's got Ninja Gaiden in the title, and it just bears no resemblance to Ninja Gaiden. It's buggy. I fell out of
Haven't they... That I wouldn't... If I wasn't in this job, I wouldn't know that Ninja Gaiden was attached to that game. Haven't they just kicked that off almost entirely?
But it is
Ninja
in
Gaiden,
the title.
Isn't it like font 2 or something?
Yiba, Ninja Gaiden,
and then font 0.5 Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
And they also basically said, don't worry, Ninja Gaiden fans, we've got a proper Ninja Gaiden game in the works about 3 months ago.
Ninja Gaiden 3 was shit as well. Ninja Gaiden lost its way.
But the problem is that so they went for this grindhouse aesthetic, which really wasn't a lot of fun or relevant even seconds before it even became big. And what was it called? Planet Terror and the other one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. And House of the Dead Overkill actually did it quite well because it was funny in a way and it was taking the piss out of itself, whereas Yiba is trying to do that, but it just doesn't get it right. And it's all like, oh yeah, now look at these women, all this misogyny and it's not. It's attempting to be funny and play around the conventions of Grindhouse, but it's just not. It's just like, oh.
Is it because it's too much, or it's poorly written, or it just doesn't?
Both.
Right.
And so you instead of playing as Ryu from Ninja Gaiden, you play as Yiba.
Yeah.
And so the previous games, like
who is Yiba?
He is a rival to Ryu who wants to kill him. That's one of your main missions.
Yeah, one of the main goal threat is who is Yiba.
Yeah,
try and find out.
It's actually
a deep and engaging story about
it's like Murdered Soul Suspect.
A lost ninja.
A lost ninja trying to find his way.
We've just done a better job of the story.
So Ninja Gaiden games are essentially about timing, about the block and counter, and about movement. And the original Ninja Gaiden, the one for
Ninja Gaiden 1
for the original Xbox is lauded as one of the finest action games of all time. This one, instead of fighting against enemies who have the same sort of strengths and weaknesses as you, who you really have to work out how to beat them, now it's just loads of zombies. So it's like, this isn't...
It's pure hack and slash, isn't it? It's
and then some clowns come out and they've got meat cleavers. And
there was room for that to be fun, though, because I know it, like, from the bits I've seen, it's like really colourful and over the top, and if it's a spin-off, that could have worked.
The problem is that by replacing intelligent enemies with just hordes of zombies, you don't have a Ninja Gaiden game. Fine. But then you also don't have a combat system in this which goes with that. So they've tried to kind of fudge it by you can get various special tools, weapons, so you can rip off zombies' arms. And like Dead Rising, essentially. It's a bit like that. But none of it's interesting. It's the same 4 combos. It's buggy and it's just...
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. I got 2 things, really. What did Inafune bring to the table? Because he was Dead Rising guy, right? And Mega Man. And I guess you kind of answered that. Did he literally just bring Dead Rising's...
I think he was more... I don't know how much...
What positive influence has he had on...
Well, it was made by Spark, wasn't it? I think Team Ninja had oversight. Maybe, this is all speculation. But it just does... It feels like a game that's been thrown together in one of those meetings where you're like, all right, what are we going to do with the franchise?
That's the thing. I get the
people
idea.
like zombies.
Exactly.
People like this grindhouse thing. Do they? Yeah. It's 2009 again.
Yeah.
And
and they've gone to him because he knows zombies.
Yeah.
And they've gone, right, we need a cheap studio that can do it because we haven't got that much of a budget. Let's go to Spark. And how many more chances is Spark really going to get? What do they do originally?
They didn't have this chance. They're already Spark Unlimited already. Come on. So
what have they done? They've done Turning Point?
Terrible.
Did they do Legendary?
Terrible, but better than Turning Point.
Lost Planet 3.
Most boring game ever made.
I mean, are they going to get any more work?
Yes. But they shouldn't. I think the thing is, I've got no problem with hack and slash games, but it's the world you build around it that makes it work. Because the biggest problem with, I've just got the name of it, Tim Schafer's rock and roll game, Brutal Legend, was that would have been an awesome hack and slash game, and it was for about an hour and a half, because everything around it is what got you interested. So it was the music and the setting, and Jack Black was doing a good job. When it became some weird real-time strategy games, I don't need this, because you sold me on the world, not on what I actually have to do within the world. So you can make it work, but if it just looks so dry, I know it's all colourful and stuff, but it looks like a game I could have played 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, while I'm hacking and slashing, there's nothing to keep me motivated to doing it. Because, God of War is a hack and slash game, really. It's an intelligent one, but it's the setting that always fuels you forward, because it's awesome, and mythology is cool, and Kratos is a badass character.
I don't know why, but I get a Splatterhouse vibe from Yiba.
Yeah,
the new Splatterhouse remake, reboot, whatever they call it. I don't know. Am I wrong? Is that
what? And they're
kind of art style,
good.
And exactly.
Well, they're attempting to stylize, hack and slash games, but hack and slash games are already quite stylized. But it seems like one of those is like, what can we bring to this? It's like, let's make it over the top. But hack and slash games, by definition, are over the top.
Yeah.
No one can go just quietly. No one really is a Greek god. Just quietly, and well, maybe Miller's body. That's what he's going for in the gym every fucking day, ruining the office. But Streets of Rage, realistic. Man with centre parting from the 90s beats up entire city. Those are already heavily stylized games, and so just drop this thing over the top of it. It's like, oh yeah, that's your selling point. It's not. The selling point is always the combat, and if the combat feeds into big bosses that feed into that world, and strong combat minute to minute, then you've got a winner. This has none of that.
There you go. Yiba, Taken to School by Stephen W. Burns.
Infamous sounds better.
Well, I say,
God, we've had a rather negative stuff.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep going.
Right, I was about to say, let's try and get
No. If you're having a bad day, we'll drag you down further. I played Yoshi's New Island last week.
Rubbish.
And it is rubbish. That's one of those boring games I've ever played. A lot of people came and said, you didn't play it for long enough. One, yes I did. Two, even if I didn't, I was bored after 5 minutes. Any game that bores me after 5 minutes, honestly, I completely believe this. I think if a game bores you so bad for even half an hour, I think you should be able to stop it and go, this game's terrible. It's entertainment. If it's boring for half an hour, that is a problem.
Maybe, but then I had a problem with the opening to Uncharted 2, and that's my favourite game ever made, I think.
Yeah, but that's
something about it.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that is still, you can still think this is going somewhere.
Yeah,
I knew that Yoshi's Island was terrible in about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I persevered regardless. Surprise, surprise, it didn't change. It's just, I can't believe they released a game that is so just void of any ideas. It's literally, you just hold right, and every now and then you push a button to make Yoshi stick his tongue out.
That's
the whole game.
I watched you doing the drill bit, and I was like, well, what's the point of the drill bit?
It's weird, like Sonic special stages, where they're not special stages because you have to do them. And Yoshi turns into some weird gimmick, in this instance a drill, and you just mash a button.
It's a bit like Mr. Driller, but without any sense of...
And there's a time limit, so if you fail, it makes you do it again. It's so inspired. I didn't want to do it the first time.
There's no skill to it, though, other than getting through it quickly, right? That's the idea.
Oh, yeah, the only reason you wouldn't do it is if you accidentally went left instead of right. The next time you go, all right, I'll go right this time. Fucking hell.
This is weird, because Simon, you're generally quite an angry man, but one of the few things that gets past that and puts a smile on your face is usually Nintendo first-party games.
Yeah, this is bad.
And this
is the worst thing to come out of 3DS in a long time. Like, it's just, there's no reason to buy it. There's no reason to buy it unless you've got some kind of thumb problem and a doctor said to you, well, is there any way you can just hold a stick right for a few hours? Oh, well, actually, now you've said that, there is. Then buy it. Then it's a very handy but quite expensive medical aid. But other than that, there's no...
There you go, shove that on the box.
Yeah. I mean, it looks nice and it's all pretty and stuff, but even that gets boring, because even the art style is just like, oh. So after about 2 hours, you're like, fucking hell, do something. Like, have some kind of personality, but it's not. It's direct of it all. And I cannot believe Nintendo even signed this thing off because it's an abomination. It's so boring. And I know some people go, oh no, but you didn't collect all of the special items. Maybe I don't want to collect the special items. And even if I did, what does that mean? I go up for a minute rather than right. Oh well, innovation. Play this game.
It's not going to help your thumb problem then either.
No, exactly. And then the doctor's going to get mad. So yeah, I mean, I can't get over it because I played at E3 last year.
You said it was crap back then.
That's the thing. The demo was only 15 minutes, but even then I was like, wow, that's boring.
Yeah.
And I was like, surely that's just because I've only seen a little bit. And
it's hard to judge at E3 as well.
Oh, massively. But in this case, spot on, because I played Zelda in the same thing. They had like a little sort of circular thing. You went around and played all the games. I played it with Jonathan Ross. It was weird. And yeah, I played Zelda, and instantly I was like, this is going to be good. I had a really, really good feeling about it. But Yoshi's Island just like, And yeah, they didn't change. There's just no ideas in it. There's no ideas in it. The game from 20 years ago is infinitely better, and all they've done is gone, well, we can kind of replicate that, I guess.
Doesn't he sometimes eat some things and then he becomes a big Yoshi and then
lemons?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not. Is it?
Well, he eats a lot of
melons,
things, and then he spits out eggs and stuff. It's just, and the boss fights are all. I mean, it may as well do it for you. At one point, I stood in the same place. Well, I wonder if this dude will hit me, and he never hit me. He threw stuff around me for about 3 minutes. I mean, that's how it's designed. It's designed for, complete and utter. I don't even know.
Morons.
I don't know. Well, I was going to say morons, but it's not morons because even a moron wouldn't enjoy it. But even a child couldn't enjoy it, really. Unless your child is like...
It's like baby's first 3DS game.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe then you'd probably get something out of it. But even then, experiment.
So we all played Nintendo games as kids, and it wasn't...
exactly.
You don't.
Children are smarter than people give them credit for.
You need some kind of challenge. There's
I
a reason.
played Super Mario Brothers 2 when I was like, what? 8?
That game scared the fuck out. None of it makes any sense. So now pulling shit out of the ground,
game, wasn't it? But that's hard. That game.
What, vegetables?
That's the least confusing part of it.
No, because you're pulling shit out of the ground, then you go through special doors, and suddenly everything's got inverted.
Actually,
what?
Here's what I'd like, because they changed it for the updates. If somebody can tweet me at Simon Miller 316. The original...
Classic plug.
No, because I want it. So, of course, I want
Or
some
at
stuff.
VG_Dave.
Yeah.
I'll relay it on to Simon Miller.
But literally, the original... It was called Wart, wasn't he, the boss in Mario 2?
I can't remember.
Wart, we'll call him Wart, I think I'm right. Had amazing boss music. It was very fast, had amazing music. And when they re-released it, they changed the music. If someone can send me either a YouTube video or an MP3 of that theme, I'll be a happy man. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, that'll make you happy. That'll cheer you up today.
See, that's the Nintendo happiness.
On a day of dribbly depression.
Why did they change it? Did they give any reason?
It's just one of those things, isn't it? I remember I can't remember if it was on All Stars or something else I played it on, but I remember I played the whole game again. One of the reasons I enjoy that music when I get to it, and it changed. Motherfuckers.
Like in
ruined that.
Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, when they changed Naomi Hunter's voice, they removed her British accent. Everyone was like, whoa.
You know what else is that this week that we haven't spoken about yet?
Go.
Metal Gear Solid, obviously.
Oh my gosh, Ground Zeroes.
Yeah, but I thought we were past that, Dave.
We have kind of talked about it.
Can I just quickly, not referencing anything, but jokes. That's what I'm going to say. Jokes. Mm-hmm. Understand a joke. All right, onwards we go. Are
you referencing to the fact that...
No, I'm just saying, sometimes realise that not everything is serious.
Okay.
What?
It's a video we did recently.
No, it's not. I'm just talking in general terms.
The brass eye was all fake. Shit.
Who's played Ground Zeroes in this room?
Me.
And Burns. Mm-hmm. Do you both like it?
Not as much as Burns did.
Why not? Why don't you like it?
So obviously there's this whole, you can finish it in 10 minutes thing. Now 10 minutes is when you're actually trying to finish it in 10 minutes. It's not like everyone will start and finish the game in 10 minutes. It took me about an hour and, including the cutscenes, I think I was done in about an hour and a half.
Is that everything or just the main mission?
The main mission. But the cutscenes, bear in mind the cutscenes are still quite long. Like they are Metal Gear Solid games still. And I just thought the actual gameplay, it gives you all the tools to do stuff. But actually, the only things you really need to do are quite boring. And so the mission is extract 2 people, essentially, and then escape on your helicopter. And that whole mechanic is quite dull of finding someone, carrying them back to a different place, then going to another place and carrying that person back to that place as well.
That's just the objective to suit the fun stuff, right? Because it's the infiltration and they're trying to find a path out without being...
Yeah, but I know, but why would you want to keep doing that over and over? I don't understand why you'd want to do that.
So I'm still confused. I haven't played it myself, but I know that's the main mission: the rescue the 2 hostages, and there's a bunch of side stuff around that. Right? There
is, but it's separate to the actual mission.
So isn't that
well, there's some in the main mission. There's another hostage to find.
Yeah,
and patches to recover and everything. But like, I get what you're saying, Dave, and I don't necessarily disagree. However, I just think that you can say that about any game. You can say, man, the objective in this driving game is really boring. I just got to drive around this track for a little while, or
maybe.
So
I think it looks really good. I think it looks really, really cool. The whole argument about how long it'll take to complete and how much you spend is fair enough, but it's a giant playbox with next-gen Metal Gear Solid.
The difference is stealth isn't very exciting.
I find it quite exciting.
Stealth in Metal Gear.
I find it.
Maybe I don't mean to say stealth isn't exciting, because there are moments when you're like, shit, is he going to spot me? And that. But I don't know. It doesn't have that same.
Is it in context?
How do you mean?
Well, the best thing about Metal Gear Solid 4, the best thing about Metal Gear Solid 4 was the way it all tied together. Mm-hmm. Like the bit where all of a sudden you're just Snake in a raincoat walking around in a rainy whatever city you're in. It was just awesome because of the stuff building up to it. But if that was just the demo by itself, I'm not 100% sure I would have gotten as much out of it as I would have done.
If you haven't played Peace Walker, that's the main thing,
right?
Because it doesn't introduce you to any of who the characters are. I think there's a backstory part, but I think it's just a series of text documents that you read through that basically tells you the
classic
Peace Walker.
I didn't think the story was important to it, though, isn't it? I thought it's
but that's a problem, right? If you think that.
Well, no. I mean, to Metal Gear Solid 5, it will be, but
the story is like an integral part of Metal Gear Solid as a series.
But this isn't. This is a different kind of game. This is
It's a prologue, essentially.
It's a prologue.
That'd be like
it's a big place to play around in and just see what we've done with.
But why couldn't this be a prologue in the sense that
I agree with Dave.
It's the prologue on the actual game?
Yeah,
because it's something you're going to be repeating constantly. I guess it's
why
because that's
unless I was told there's all different ways in which you can do this, I would never ever have gone back and replayed that level in Ground Zeroes ever. If that was just a mission in the Phantom Pain, there's not a chance in hell I'd have particularly gone back to Ground Zeroes and gone, I'm going to keep replaying that level over and do it different ways.
Yeah, I'd much prefer it if it led into a story and ended on like, oh my gosh, I'm a woman.
It ends with a trailer for the Phantom Pain, and the way I described it to Brett was that, because obviously we go to preview events quite often, and it feels like how a demo is presented to press at a preview event. It feels like a slice of a game, and then it wraps it up with this trailer, and it's like how a demo would have been 5-6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it just feels like that has now made its way into the consumer space. And I don't know, I just think it deserves all of the criticism it's getting in terms of price and stuff.
I can't wait for 5 years' time when it costs fuck all. Because then most of the criticism is gone, right?
It'll be PlayStation Plus by the end of the year. It'll be used as a marketing tool for Phantom Pain.
This is like the thing about I don't understand the characters. This is the start of the 5th fucking game. You know it's like, I started watching Godfather Part 2 and all these guys were just talking and I was like,
no, I know.
Who the fuck are these guys? Like,
no.
Maybe I just
but Peace Walker wasn't a numbered game. Was it? It wasn't. But I've played Metal Gear 1, 2, 3, 4. I've played a bit of Peace Walker, but I haven't finished it. And I was still left with I don't really understand why that.
There's a dedicated backstory button or mode or thing. Not ideal.
I agree with you. What my problem is, I'd much rather it was just a story that led into Phantom Pain. I'd much rather
it is.
But
you want what without any of the tie-in to the previous games?
Well, I don't want it tying into previous games because it's a sequel. But I don't know. I haven't played it, so you may go, no, you're completely wrong. That's what it does. It doesn't sound like to me that it raises any intrigue or plants any seeds for what's going to happen.
Well, I didn't play all of Peace Walker because it bored the fuck out of me, to be honest. But I know who those two characters are just in passing. I played maybe 2 a bit hours of Peace Walker.
Yeah, no, I think I'm probably roughly the same. So
I know who those characters are because they're quite heavily involved in the opening of Peace Walker, and I'm intrigued as to who this Skullface guy is, and I want to know more about what his role is and what XOF and but it's the Metal Gear Solid story, Yeah. So
I just didn't realize anyone wanted story from Ground Zeroes. I thought the whole idea of it being just a short game in which you replay it in different ways and figure out how you can.
But that's
speed
demo.
Things. Well,
that is what a demo would have been 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I guess that's why the argument has come up. But people, we talked about it in the preview video we did. as long as people understand that's what it is.
But I think there'll be a lot of people on Friday
to play Metal Gear Solid 5 early.
There'll be a lot of people on Friday, not the guys listen to this, because you're well-informed guys. You listen to a fucking video games podcast.
And you're handsome.
But there'll be people who walk into and I love you. There'll be people walking into a game shop on Friday who've gone,
I definitely agree.
I used to really like Metal Gear Solid. I didn't know there's a new one out. I'll buy it.
And it does.
And then it's going to be...
Fuck you.
It's going to be expect pre-owned copies to be everywhere within a week or so.
Oh, no, I completely agree. Though, and there's been so much confusion around what it is until more recently, even for the...
But even people. I think it was Kojima's assistant claimed that those comments about it being 2 to 4 hours long were false. I was like, we'll finish it in 10 minutes.
Exactly, it's 10 minutes. So they are false, not 2 to 4 hours.
Sure, there's extra content. There's extra content. But it would be like Activision going, Call of Duty's 300 hours long, mate. What are you talking about? But, the campaign's 5 hours, but you can play it for fucking hours.
The way it's labelled is a problem. GT 5 Prologue literally says what it is.
Yeah.
And I think there's a problem. But at the same time, I just think this is an industry where people pay 20 extra quid for a fucking statuette that they never take out of the box.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Dave. I think it should have just been called Metal Gear Solid 5 Prologue or something like that. Obviously that's not as marketable, or have something on the box that says...
A big sticker that says, listen, Phantom Pain's going to be a bit of a while, so if you just want to play around with this for a bit...
Good sticker. Good, nice, concise sticker.
And, the commercialisation of it may actually grow in to become a big problem, like cutting off... Like it used to
I think it'll be successful and then everybody will do it. That's the real problem.
Yeah.
And then... Because you don't want it, don't buy it. That's the other thing. You vote with your wallets. If no one buys this, then the model will die. Everyone will buy it. So it's your own fault.
As a Metal Gear Solid fan, or a bit of a lapsed one, because I didn't actually think Metal Gear Solid 4 was that good.
I love Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh, man.
I loved it.
It's like literally, Metal Gear Solid 4, if you take the cutscenes out, is about 2 fucking seconds long.
I'm with Birds on this.
Yeah. Like, the last hour... I was in my room like, fucking...
Was he on a aircraft carrier at one point? Not aircraft carrier, but a warship?
Yeah.
I like that bit. The crawling bit. That was good.
Yeah, that was... In the last 2 hours, that was the only bit of gameplay, essentially.
Yeah.
And so as a bit of a lapsed fan, I love Metal Gear Solid 3.
It's got a beat-em-up section. It's amazing.
Oh, what? Where the screen furniture changes?
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
That's brilliant.
However, I'm like, it's 30 quid. Bang, I pay the 30 quid. Fine, that's fine for me. But that's how I define the value, right? I just think in a year's time, when it costs nothing, when it's on PSN Plus, everyone will be like, oh man, that's actually quite cool.
I guess that makes it like that raises the whole question when you're reviewing something, how much should you take into account the pricing at the time?
You can't though,
exactly,
because otherwise free games should all get tens.
Yeah, and later down the line, that price is you
just have to make people aware. You have to make people aware how much it costs and say you decide if you think it's fairly priced. But you can't take, because what I think is fair, you're going to think is not fair, because it depends on if you're the biggest Metal Gear Solid fan in the world. I mean, literally, you wake up every day, you've got Snake's poster on your wall, you touch yourself and things happen looking at Snake. Then paying 30 quid for Ground Zero is going to be the best thing you do all year. It's more Metal Gear Solid, you can play it over and over again. It's, that is amazing. But if you're not that guy, then £30 seems like a lot of money. So you have to determine if it works for you or not. And like I say, if we all did that, then fucking Candy Crush Saga would be the greatest game ever made. Trust me, it's not.
Final Fantasy 13, the 11 out of 10. There's 20 hours before the game even starts. Amazing. It's just, and how interesting, the whole money thing is important. It is important because, we're advising people on how to spend their cash.
Exactly, and nobody wants to spend their money on something they don't like.
Exactly, but I just think that...
I just think my issue with it is there's no reason for it to be released as a game.
Well, there is.
Money. There isn't.
Money.
No, I know money, but there's no
But don't you think that...
But creatively and in terms of games that you think maybe deserve a boxed release and...
I think it exists to obviously fill Konami's coffers a little bit.
But it's what you described it as the other day. You described it as a huge advert for Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain.
But I'm fine with that because I can play it.
No, I know, but...
All right,
this is perfect. This is perfect. You're summing it up right here, why it's both a good and a bad thing and why people have to approach it in their own way. Because to you, it's more Metal Gear Solid, and to you, it's something that doesn't need to exist.
And I think we're both Metal Gear fans to a similar degree. Like you were saying, I didn't like Metal Gear 4 like you didn't. But to me, it's like I'm paying for a big advert for a game, and I am looking forward to the Phantom Pain. But it hasn't put me off the idea of the Phantom Pain, but it's put me off a little bit Konami's practices and stuff that Kojima may be willing to do and not to do. And I don't know. It leaves a bad taste, I think.
No, I like it. You get Metal Gear early. If you want to pay to get in, that's fine. That's how a lot.
But it's similar to what we were saying before, wasn't it, with the whole Steam Early Access thing? Like DayZ, it's got away with it, but does that model now mean that everyone's going to take the piss and release half-finished games at full price? Don't know. I
don't think DayZ's even got away with it. It works brilliantly for DayZ. You just have to know what early access means.
No, but what I mean by got away with it is it's. Didn't he say it's like a year away from beta still, and it sold like how many million copies?
Yeah, and other people could come out and try and take it. You can take advantage of that model.
Yeah, fair enough to Dean Hawley that he'd said that, and he said, "Listen, you know, if you have any kind of qualms about it, don't buy it."
Oh, no, exactly. But I'm saying there will be less moral people.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be more scrupulous people that don't give a shit about.
I guess that shows why the messaging from the publisher or the dev is so important in it as well.
Yeah.
And why this Ground Zeroes, the reason this argument exists is because that messaging is so vague.
Mm-hmm. Well, has anyone actually seen, I've seen the front of the box art, but have we seen the back?
No, I imagine.
They've got to be saying something on the back, right?
Why would they, though? Why would they? What? There's no legal requirement for them to say it's only an hour and a half long.
That's true.
Well, yeah,
it's only an hour and a half long.
They are running the risk of...
Depends how long
exactly.
play. It's like they can't... No one would ever say that because you don't know how long someone's going to take to finish it.
Games don't necessarily have running times. That's the thing.
And especially one designed around replaying the same mission. You can't put...
The only thing with Metal Gear Solid that we're all going to agree on is that Metal Gear Solid 2 is dog shit.
No, I like Metal Gear Solid 2.
I like Metal Gear 2.
Yeah,
you are wrong. You're wrong.
I love how you said that expecting everyone to go,
no,
yes.
I've said this many times on the podcast. I've really enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 2.
Have you played it again recently?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. I reviewed it for the HD collection. It's unplayable.
Why is it unplayable?
Right,
it doesn't matter now.
At the time of shooting first person, you hold L1 to go into first person.
Yeah. The controls
you hold
are
R1 to bring up the gun. You hold down square, not to fire the gun, but just to nearly fire the gun. To fire the gun, you have to release your thumb very slowly, otherwise you fire wildly. If you want to lean or move while firing the gun, you hit it's like a claw.
It reminds me of a game we'd been playing on the live stream.
But you're not allowed to say that because that's the best game ever made.
I thought the controls in Ground Zeroes were wank as well, though.
What?
Yeah,
we're not going to agree on this one.
Aim first person. You have to press 3 buttons to shoot.
It doesn't matter if Metal Gear Solid 2 is crap now. I enjoyed it at the time. Well, I didn't enjoy it. I'm not telling it again. But I liked it. It was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Knight Rider at the time.
I've got such fond memories of Final Fantasy X, and like the remastering is. I've suddenly realised I probably don't want to play it again. You're
not being honest with yourselves. Go back.
Like in my mind, the cutscenes, other than the famous laughing with Yuna, and let's not focus on that. I remember the story in the cutscenes being lovely.
It's all bollocks, fine. It's about your dad that's a giant whale. That is the story of that game. It's never explained. At one point he goes, Dad's giant whale, his name's Jed. What the fuck? Bollocks. Absolute bollocks.
Final Fantasy, I really
Sin.
dislike.
He's the embodiment of evil.
Oh, is it Sin? Who's Jed then? Who's Jed?
That is...
Oh, it's Jed, all right.
Jed has become Sin.
Okay.
See, exactly. Do you remember that came out? I was like, the great games all the time.
And Blitzball as well. What a pile of crap.
One of the best mini games other than Final Fantasy VIII card game.
Fuck off.
That's what I'd say about Blitzball. I absolutely love it.
I remember watching...
Chocobo racing to shame.
I remember talking about misleading people. Obviously, I was a stupid fucking kid. I don't know. I remember watching an advert, like a trailer.
Tell me you didn't think it was a sports game.
No. For Final Fantasy X on that Violet Berlin show. What the hell was it called on Bravo? No, the other one on Bravo.
Thumb Bandits?
No.
Johnny Bravo?
No, it was called Game
On?
Something like that. And it was on Bravo. And it finished with the Final Fantasy X fucking render trailer, obviously, for Blitzball. And I go, fucking hell, look how good games look now. Look how good games are now. When I bought that motherfucker, I was like, you pieces of shit.
Blitzball's great.
That was I'm talking about the whole rendering stuff. Before it used to say, by the way, this is not in gameplay footage.
Oh, right, yeah.
Who was the first people that got screwed for that? Because they went on for ages.
Was it Call of Duty? Yeah.
Good. Bollocks. I didn't buy it because of that. I bought because I never played a Final Fantasy game properly. So I thought, okay, I'll do it. I'll play it now. That was bollocks. What disappointment that was.
I remember people in my school with Final Fantasy VII getting massively stung by the Sephiroth walking through the flames and on the VMAX motorcycle, and everyone's like, it's a fucking game. I was like, look, guys, I read a lot of CVG, I know it doesn't look like that. They're like, whatever, man, whatever.
3D's the fucking future, man.
Suddenly I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
So let's just agree on something now. We all like oxygen.
Yes.
I don't.
And living. Oh, God
Free
damn it,
radicals,
Sarah
eh?
Miller.
Free radicals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's kill
Has anyone played a game that they've really enjoyed this week?
No, it's been...
Yeah.
I
enjoyed Ground Zeroes, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it.
And I'm intrigued. Didn't sound like
I'm
it.
intrigued to go back and play more, but I wouldn't go back and play more if it was a mission in Phantom Pain.
Yeah, I get it. I see where you're coming from.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
But anything I played that I've enjoyed. Oh, go on, what are you going to say?
No, I was going to say, there's nothing, is there? No
Titanfall. I've been playing Titanfall all week. I Prestige last night and I got upset. I lost all my stuff and I started playing bottom again.
That's not Prestige.
I played Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
What?
Oh. Yeah, I played it online. I never played it online before. Wasn't very good at it.
I despise that game.
Why not?
Titanfall's out.
Yeah, but I don't have Titanfall, so I played Black Ops 2.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've got into Dark Souls 2 properly. I think I'm like maybe 10 to 15 hours in, something like that. I can't remember. That there's a 5-hour gap there. I just don't know what happened. It's
You were getting killed.
I'd like to do like a little video thing on why I now think I get the hype about Dark Souls, and it's not just the whole this game's really hard, and although that's the headline everyone uses. I met some friends over the weekend who'd all been playing Dark Souls 2. We'd all put about the same amount of time into it and had
was this a meeting?
Dark Souls 2 appreciation club.
I meant the other kind of meeting, but yeah.
And yeah, just the fact that we played the same amount of time, different starting characters, and had really different experiences in the game. Like the fact that, we didn't show it off in perhaps the best way, but when you started playing it and we just went completely the wrong direction and messed a bunch of stuff up, the fact that can happen and you can do loads of, you can go in so many different directions without realizing, and it's so fun to talk about that. It reminded me of this is going to scare you off, but reminded me of watching Lost, right? Lost, when you see it now, is we all know about the ending. We all know that it's eventually disappointing. But whilst you were watching it, and the discussions around every episode were the fun. I've got such good memories of just discussing what certain things could possibly mean, and I'm getting that feeling from playing Dark Souls 2, just because everything's so obscure and a lot of things don't make sense, and that is frustrating in many ways. But it's so fun to talk about because you're constantly trying to figure out, oh shit, what if I missed something? What are you doing? Did you get that item? Where does that fit in?
I would rather eat my own face than play any more Dark Souls 2. I genuinely think it's going to be a
good video.
I think it's one of those games that here come the tweets. It's one of those games that I think a lot of people just like because, it's so hard and it's a gamer's game.
No, okay, so the difficulty does play into that, because if it wasn't difficult, you wouldn't have to care about missing stuff, because then you could get through it easily.
I think a lot of people like it for the sake of liking it, because it's now become this cool game to like. I think a lot of people just persevere with it rather than actually enjoy it. I really do believe that.
I think there's a bunch of stuff that it does badly, and I don't even think the combat is as perfect as everyone says at all. And there's a lot of you talked about cheap deaths when we first.
Oh, I had a big brawl.
And there are plenty of cheap deaths in the game, and that is frustrating. But because it's hard and because it's weird and because it's not designed like a lot of other games that I play, it means that you have to talk about it with other people, and that just there is a reason the whole community around Dark Souls is so freaking feverish about it. It's because it has to exist for the game to be fun.
Is that a flaw in game design or that the players are filling in the blanks, or
it's a combination.
Japanese. You're meant to play it over and over again, and
it doesn't care if you miss stuff, which is really annoying, but also somehow adds back into the fact that there is this whole community around it.
It's like cartography. Yeah, go on, Dave.
Right,
get your Downton voice.
Say that again.
It's like cartography. So actually, that's incredibly wanky.
You got to say it now.
I meant it to sound incredibly
cartography.
wanky, but I don't think I gave it enough wank. So, but no, you're meant to map out, and you're meant to exactly what you see in a playthrough, and then it's like a giant Hitman mission. Then you talk to other people or use the other shit, so you play it again. It's got like new game times 34. It's meant to be played until you die or the next one comes out, whichever is soonest. So
I hate it. I'll never ever understand the appeal of that game. I just don't get it. To me, it's like maths. It's like maths. You struggle through it, and then you get some kind of satisfaction when you get to the end result. But ultimately, I'd rather not have done it in the first place.
Rachel Riley loves maths.
She does.
Yeah,
it's true.
Do you know what I don't love? FIFA. That's what I've been playing this week. A lot of FIFA. Gone back to FIFA 14 PS4.
Right.
And loaded up my game, and it was like playing on world class. playing as Man United. Not going well. I was down in 7th. And,
like real life.
Yeah, and the board went, pick up these results or you'll be fired. So I went on a 5-game winning streak. They went, you're still fired.
That's like real life.
Yeah, and I was like, so this isn't very realistic, is it?
I don't know. I think it's very realistic.
Well, no, because David Moyes couldn't go on a 5-game winning streak if a man held a gun to his head.
That's true, yeah.
That does really suck. Like I know the FIFA's been like trying to approach the Football Manager stuff for a long time. You're always aware that it's a basic version of that, but when it does stuff like that, that's just come on.
But then I was playing it, and I dislike it more and more as it goes on. As you play more of the seasons, you just see how fucking loose the game is. It's like
loose.
Passes are under hit all the time, and yes, Dave, that is correct. That's got no bearing.
I think FIFA 14 is a genuine disappointment in that. I don't play it, and I don't play FIFA every year. I stopped playing FIFA 14
Do you know what's a better game?
week.
I've been playing a lot of this. ISS Pro Evolution Soccer 2. I'm not even fucking joking.
It is a good game.
PS1. Get that shit on. Get it emulated when you own the original disc. Play that fucking thing. It is amazing. It's so much better than FIFA. People go, oh, you're just a fanboy. Someone accused me of being a football hipster for saying that on Twitter. They're like, you probably support Dortmund. I was like, well, actually, I admire Dortmund's philosophy. But that's what I've been playing.
There you go.
Man, it's been a bit of a negative week.
No, let's get positive.
Yeah, let's
right, what's the best game of all time?
Let's get positive with questions.
All right, okay.
Lady.
Oh, I know, here we are, from British Wolf. So with Sony potentially unveiling its own VR headset at GDC, which they have now done, it's called Project Morpheus.
Fuck's sake.
Do you think these headsets are the future?
No.
Or just another expensive gimmick?
That one.
Really?
That one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because I think it will never become... because if we were going to do it, it would have happened by now, I presume. Because
the time traveller theory. If it existed, they'd be here by now.
Do you know what I mean, though? It's true. That freaks me out, time travel, right? Because if time travel exists...
No, not necessarily.
It already exists.
No.
It does, because that means time works in
So you're saying that time is a non-linear element?
If
right?
time travel exists, yes.
But time doesn't have to... You're still thinking as a linear line where... So say time travel exists, they could come back. So they break that linear line. But what happens if time is
branches?
Loads that just split?
At the moment time travel exists, suddenly there's so many different timelines. Anyway, virtual reality.
I just think by now it would have already...
I remember seeing an advert for the Atari,
time travel?
Atari, yeah.
Back to the Future.
Time Cop 2. The Berlin Incident. Shit. But I remember seeing an advert for... maybe it was like at CES or something for the Atari Jaguar VR headset. And it was like... Oh my days, this is the future.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously things have moved on. Oculus is proving that you can do that and you can get the kits out to people and it's not the size of, Ed 209's head on yours. But at the same time...
I don't know anyone who's...
It's got to be bundled in.
I don't know anyone who's tried the Oculus Rift headset for an extended period of time and come out of it and said... Yeah, that's all right. I don't know.
No, I've used Oculus Rift and I like it. I thought it was amazing. And if I had one, I would use it more. But would I use it all the time? Definitely not. Because it just... It introduces another barrier.
I don't think it's
before you play games. It's why Kinect doesn't really, sell itself to people because why wiggle your hands around when you can just use a controller? Well, okay, I think that will always be the case.
When Sony announced it, one of the execs described it as they saw it as a medium, not a peripheral, and I think that's why it'll work. It's not about ham-fisting it into all games because it's not going to work. It's about making games specifically for that.
It will work with certain games, though.
Yeah,
racing games. I can see Gran Turismo 7 being like.
Of course, it will complement certain games.
No, but the question was, is it going to take over everything? And I'm saying no, it's not.
Porn on it?
I'm saying no, it's not.
Porn?
It will never be. Video games will never be. You get there and you whack a big thing on your head. That's something you can do, but it will never be.
Sorry, I wasn't saying. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's a replacement for how we play games.
I thought that was the question. I thought the question is it going to take over?
Well, do you think it's the future?
Yeah, no, I don't.
I think it'll play a significant role in the future.
I do as well. I definitely do.
I don't think it's significant. I think it'll just be something that's there and that people can do. I still don't think
you said that about Kinect, and now that's thrown in every console.
Yeah, but it's not big. That's not a big deal, Kinect. Most people hate it.
But it is to the people that...
Kinect is a peripheral at the moment, not a medium.
That's what I mean.
I don't know a single Kinect game.
Nobody thinks that Kinect is... Because you said, is it the future, right? No one thinks Kinect is the future. Nobody. People just think it's something that gets in the way.
Console think it is.
Yeah, but they're not the people that count. It's the people that are using the console that count. If they bundle a VR headset with everything and you put it on for a game every now and then, or when your mate comes around, then it's not the future. It's just a gimmick you can have around. I think it'll always be in that kind of.
I think
kind of bubble.
I think it will play a small role, but it's gonna be such a fun role to. Like,
it's also I like I said, I love Oculus Rift. The game I played was shit as well, and it was still good. but I still wouldn't do it more than play a game with a controller.
From what my experience with it, I think it's the games that are going to be designed specifically for virtual reality are going to be the mega exciting ones. I've seen a lot of first-person exploration games include it, and it's nice, and it's like a different way of experiencing the game, but you're still moving your head around with the analog sticks as well, and using your...
Is that a little bit disorientating?
Yes, and it just feels like that does feel like it's just an add-on, and it's like, oh, this is cool, but the games where it's specifically designed for that experience. Like, have you seen the... what's the one that was made during a game jam where you have to defuse a bomb and you can see the bomb in front of you as you've got...
And you have to describe...
And someone else describes it to you with like a list of like instructions depending on what the bomb looks like and like how how it's designed, and you have to kind of react to that. I'm not saying that game is going to be something I'm going to go and play all the time, but the idea of something that's specifically designed for a headset...
I don't know, I'm not convinced.
It's going to be so cool.
I'm not convinced.
Flying around in space in a spaceship and looking around.
I've done that. That's what game I played.
It's going to be freaking cool.
It was cool, but I did it for 10 minutes and I was like, okay.
I think it could do a massive boost for racing games, because racing games are pretty stale these days and they need something, and I think that will reignite the appeal of them a little bit more.
If you're stationary and you're just moving your head around...
Like I say, it's perfect for Gran Turismo 7. Sony, it's...
Burnout 4.
Well, I don't know how it worked for Burnout.
What are you talking about?
That would be amazing.
Yeah. I'm talking about
crashes
ducking,
in first person.
Weaving.
But like simulator type games.
Oh, it's so boring.
No, I know, but like that's VR, right?
But Burn's having an aneurysm. Maybe best to just move on.
I hate Gran Turismo.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it competes with the Rift. I thought one cool thing they mentioned was that they're looking into the idea of like monitoring your eyes, tracking your eye movement inside the headset. So it's not just where you move your head; it's actually what you're focusing on and what you're looking at. Sounds fucking bonkers, but kind of cool.
Dude, I missed that.
And yeah, was there any like I haven't really been following the big news stories this week. Is there anything like
GDC or in general?
Anything particularly cool coming out of GDC?
No.
I guess it's usually the Wednesday and Thursday that are the bigger ones.
It's still early on
right?
GDC, yeah. I don't think we're going to get much more, really. I'm not sure. Might be a couple of things, but...
Did you guys see that This War Is Mine that was revealed?
I have no idea what you're talking
this
about.
Week. So it's a war game where you take on the role of a civilian instead of a soldier.
Homefront?
Not that. That's a civilian soldier.
Where's the line, Dave? Where's the line? So what? So you just walk around, getting sad.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so it sounds extremely cool, but I've kind of looked into it a little bit more, and it sounds a bit more survival game-ish than I would have liked.
Yeah, naturally.
So I kind of expected it to go along the moment in Spec Ops that everyone talks about, it to be that kind of feeling throughout an entire game. But it turns out it's more about like maintaining a hideout and avoiding snipers in the day whilst you collect materials and stuff like that.
So literally just like living in Croydon, really.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's not.
I think it's kind of missing a point. But okay, so questions we've got from Mark Robertson, who asks, with lots of games coming out across PC and console and handheld, his examples, Lufaraz's, what's your preferred platform of choice? So if a game's out on a bunch of different platforms, what do you tend to opt for?
3DS.
Oh, God.
Does that count? I don't know if that counts or not. I'd play anything over on my 3DS. Handheld gaming is my favourite.
So, and the Vita's getting a lot of stuff at the moment, isn't it? So,
Vita probably, because when I play on like my PS4, the people I live with, they know where I am. And I don't want them to know where I am, so I can just sneak out my Vita and hide.
Right.
I think it's case by case, though, isn't it? For me. Especially this generation more than last. Last generation, I bought the majority of my multi-platform stuff on 360.
For those Chivos.
For the Chivos, and because the multiplayer games, I'd play with my mates on 360.
That was back when Microsoft knew what it was doing, right?
Yeah, whereas this gen, it seems to be what performs best which seems to just be PS4.
So many games, well, every game that's come out on both the next-gen platforms is immediately like, and it looks better on the PlayStation 4, or the frame rate's better on one or the other, usually PlayStation 4. It's like there are very obvious...
Has a weird texture filtering thing at the moment, though. I won't go into it. It's boring as shit.
PS4.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Saw that in Ground Zeroes. We'll talk about that later.
All right, cool. Texture filtering sounds sexy. Goat Simulator Game of the Year? ? Question mark.
Quite possibly.
That's Juicy Austin.
When are we getting that?
I still don't believe it's coming out. It's coming out
It's out
1st of April.
Yeah. Is it a massive joke?
And we're going to be so upset. The amount of stuff we could do with that game.
I do love that it's just... they put it out as a stupid demo of look at this thing that we made, and now they were working on another game at the time, right? And now they've had to shit guys, this goat thing is going to be big.
I don't know.
Everyone scrap what you're
doing. What
doing.
were they working on? Like Caravan Simulator or something? It's not going to be anything that's going to change the world. Stupid company.
You might.
No, it's not a simulator company.
Stupid company whose game we'd really like to play ahead of release, please.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was coming from Excalibur or something.
No.
Right.
Shit. Actually,
but what else? If they haven't made anything else simulator-wise,
they have made something else.
But is it simulator-wise?
No.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I don't think it's going to be an accurate reflection of a goat's life.
What do you mean? Why are you ruining this for me? I want to be sucking from the teat of the mother goat. I want to be shorn every now and then.
Produce your own cheese.
Yeah, I want cheese every now and then. To be laying around in the field, going fuck. Man, goat's
I don't
boring.
like Wallace and Gromit. Don't like it.
What?
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
You say that's how I heard Sean. That's what.
What are you talking about? Coffee Stain Studios. Sorry,
no, it's not Go. It's just.
What did they make? Why put my voice on?
They've made a game.
Oh, they made Sanctum. That's it. The tower defense game.
Sanctum. That was it. Yes.
That, man.
And a game called I Love Strawberries.
But yeah, so they were. I think they were working on. By the sounds of it, they were working on mainly like another port for Sanctum 2 or something like that.
Possibly.
And then one of the devs came up with this stupid goat simulator tech demo thing at a game jam or something similar. And then suddenly the whole studio's like, shit, let's do that. Everyone really wants Goat Simulator.
I'm less excited now.
Really?
I thought it was from Excalibur.
No, they wouldn't do it justice.
They definitely would. They know the simulator market, man. Hands down.
They made Shenmue 3 as well.
Yeah, they made Shenmue 3.
They made Warehouse and Logistics Simulator.
It's probably still a joke anyway.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to come out, but...
All right, have a bet.
All right,
I bet 1 carrot.
We need something that...
They're important to you as well, carrots.
No, I don't eat carrots.
Oh,
full of sugar, yeah.
Yeah, carrots are dog shit.
So, no, we need something that you would enjoy winning if it's otherwise...
Sportsman's bet, though, isn't it?
Sportsman's bet.
What's that?
Bet of sportsman.
As in just winning
Pride
satisfaction
wins.
of knowing.
Pride? I want cold, hard cash.
Oh, I'm not giving you cash.
Right, okay.
On dribble.
Okay, what have we got here? Harry Koo asks, how long until current gen software releases dry up to just a trickle?
Couple of years.
How long did it last with the previous gen?
Well, they still release FIFAs now, don't they, I think?
That was different.
FIFA still came. The last FIFA came out PS2, last one. So, a couple of years, I'd say 2016. The big ones will come out for a while, but everything else will start to cease from then, I imagine. I don't think people...
Current gen only games, I think. Or major current gen only games are gone, I imagine.
Yeah, they won't release anything.
I don't know. Yeah, South Park and Dark Souls, I think, wrapped it up in terms of exclusives.
Yeah, there's a problem with like Mesh for a while, but it won't be.
It's interesting because everyone, I think, all the publishers expected current gen, I should stop saying current gen really, last gen games to have go on for longer this time around than what they seem to be doing. Like a lot of people have said how last gen sales have dried up a lot quicker than they expected them to because there's such a big install base for those consoles.
Yeah, it did feel... It already felt weird with South Park.
I think like a large part of that install base is bought into the next gen, and the ones that haven't are the kind of casual people that will come along a bit later. So I don't know. I was always a bit sceptical.
So we're already approaching it.
I think so. I think they're probably announced a lot of Connect stuff or about E3 or something like that. Yeah, a load of sort of family stuff. I don't know what Sony will do. Maybe a load of independent games, or just push PS Plus hard and say you can get it on either. But I don't think you'll get any more. Yeah, I think Dark Souls and South Park. Yeah, I don't think you'll get much bigger games than that going forward. I would be surprised if you did anyway. You probably get a lot of ports, but I don't think you get anything specifically for them.
And we got a final question from Tom Bickmore, who specifically for Dave asks, is it a cloudy future for Microsoft? Is it indeed? Was your off-the-cuff statement in our latest video?
Wow. Maybe I'll save that story for a rainy day.
Oh,
nice. Cause
already put that tweet out about an hour ago.
Oh, really? You God damn it!
But I thought I'd say it again.
Right. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good zing.
Thanks very much.
Pretty good tower zinger.
You know, on the pun side, I've already put the message out, bros.
Oh, I have as well.
Have you?
Right.
Oh, now you're spamming.
That means it's time for...
You're spamming people's Twitter feeds.
I need to do the jingle.
Instinct. Well, no, because... I'm talking passionate kiss here.
Yeah, that's fine.
An old lady that tastes of fish.
But no, fish is hot. An old lady could be hot.
That's what. That's
Shit,
not.
That's actually quite good. Fuck it, we need another one.
Yeah, that's terrible. That is absolutely the worst one. Would you rather kiss a human being or would you rather do illegal things and kiss a fish? Well, let me. Bestiality is definitely illegal. Right, we've got a double one now, so I think we can get away with asking something that's really weird.
So this is from Tom of the North.
Hi, Tom of the North. Hope you're doing well in the North.
At Informal Mr. Tom. Who asks, can an albatross kill an intoxicated humpback whale with just a dramatic rendition of 3 Times a Lady?
Say it again? These are the weirdest questions that I've ever been received.
Got weird.
They're not really questions that pertain to me either. So if that whale does die,
I've got one.
I've got a question that I wanted to ask before.
Do four. Okay. 2 have been so bad. Do 2 more and wrap it up.
Right, this one we skipped by accident before, and I think it's a good question. What's the biggest animal you reckon you could cling film to a lamppost? And I want a serious response here.
Gorilla.
You think you could cling film a
Definitely,
gorilla?
because gorilla
bullshit.
A gorilla is of man-sized proportions, right? They're very, very strong, obviously.
Than man.
Well, not me, but that's a joke. They're made, so you could wrestle it to the ground for one, and it would be a fair fight. No, you could, because you couldn't wrestle a lion, right? That lion is going to fucking sink its claws into you, and it's probably going to rip your heart out or something. But a gorilla, even with its strength, you could fight it like a man.
Have you ever seen a gorilla charge a man?
They can pull arms off. I know, but have you ever seen me charge a gorilla? So you could wrestle the gorilla as if it was another man, take him down, maybe apply the sharpshooter, get him to tap out, and as soon as he's tapped out, he's a done gorilla, and then you can cling him to the lamppost. See you later, guys.
Would a gorilla tap out?
Also, you're gonna have some industrial strength cling film to hold a.
I just use loads.
Gorilla tape.
Cling foam starts building up after a while.
Yeah. Like pound for pound, 5 times stronger than the average man.
Yeah.
So gorillas, I reckon. I mean, I know you're 5 times stronger than the average man, Miller, but. We're
talking a full adult male here as well.
Yeah. I've made my decision.
On the females.
My decision.
A full adult female.
My decision is gorilla. I've made it. I've given my reasoning.
I saw it in Bath once. You don't want it, honestly.
It's all right. It's done. Gorilla. Bring it. Just bring it, gorilla.
I don't believe
I'll take you down. Right. What's the 4th and final?
I think we should wrap it up with that one, to be honest. I mean, I can ask you if you want.
Well, if it's bad, I'll cut it.
Okay.
So there's always that.
Well, I didn't expect your question to be so strong, Chris.
Yeah.
No, you got to be careful with this one.
Okay.
Because,
eggshells.
If you had to give up... I'm sorry, this is from Wesley.
Hello, Wesley.
If you had to give up games or bodybuilding, which would it be?
Oh, that's the easiest question in the world.
Oh, it is?
See you later, games.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Not even
games are cut right out.
Not even it's not even a contest. Like my love for bodybuilding is infinitely more than my love for games.
You could have just lied to us.
No, never.
Well, that is depressing.
Yeah, fuck.
It's more like Stockholm syndrome.
I love games. Don't get me wrong, but I'd never give up bodybuilding ever. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Well,
I mean, why even bother?
Now I need to go to the toilet. Can we?
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
We're on our way to Thorpe Park. The child in the back.
I didn't go before we left.
Right.
Look, everyone calm down. I'll turn this car around. My dad did that. Here's a little story to end the podcast. I need the toilet burns. I'll be quick. So
I'll wait for this. This is the
best
the story.
Yeah.
It's so good.
My dad. This is going to get a little bit like Miller tales, but I have to give you context to explain it. So my dad used to be on. He still is. He used to be a news reporter, a sports correspondent for on television. He used to be on News at 10. If you're of our age, you may recognise him, blah, 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 blah. So he obviously got a lot of opportunities and stuff through it. And when SummerSlam came to the UK in the early 90s, he interviewed Ultimate Warrior, he interviewed Hulk Hogan, he interviewed Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he interviewed Mean Gene Oakland.
The whole team.
And I'm a massive wrestling fan now, so you can imagine when I'm sort of, 9, 10 years old, it was everything to me. And he got tickets to SummerSlam, right? The only UK... proper pay-per-view that's ever been in the UK. We've had other ones, but they've never been proper. It's proper Big Four, WWF at the time, pay-per-view. Like, it's a big deal. In Wembley Stadium, huge crowd.
Colossal.
Bret Hart, British Bulldog, considered one of the best matches of all time. This is top dog, top dollar.
I bet you were so excited.
You have no idea. And we're on our way there, and my brother, who does listen to this podcast, so James, welcome to the podcast, was throwing a tantrum. And he's being, as he was probably 12, whatever he was. And my dad did the classic. What
scale of tantrum is this?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. He's
kicking the seat, or
I can't remember specifically, but I remember he was,
Was this over needing a piss as well? Or
probably, yeah.
Okay, right.
And my dad did the classic, I will turn this car around.
Oh, we heard that one before, Dad.
And he didn't stop. And my dad turned the car around. He turned the car around. He turned the car around, and I never went. I never went.
That is harsh.
And if we're completely honest, still not over it. Still haven't completely forgiven
Oh,
everyone
man.
involved.
I'm surprised that you said that.
So there you go.
In hindsight, did your dad just not want to go and manage to put off?
Or he lied about the tickets. He's like, shit, how am I going to get out of this? Yeah. He's like, we're going to drive an hour down the motorway and then just turn around. That's what we'll do. So yeah, there you go. We started the podcast negatively and now we finished it.
I would have done the
well,
Macaulay Culkin and divorced my parents.
Yeah.
I'd have just pissed in the car.
Just gone what?
Fuck you, Dad.
Dave, having said that, I used to live with a guy
who pissed in the car?
Who said that his brother was on a flight, a lad's holiday somewhere, and and they were just taking off, and he really needed a piss, like really badly. I'm not sure if this is true, but apparently they're all a bit drunk, so like lads. Apparently the flight stewardess said, "Yes, sir, you cannot go to the toilet." And he went, "Well, what about this?" And he stood up and just pissed himself.
What about this?
No, that is proper scorched earth. Everyone around him was just like, "Excuse me,"
like he's got one over the dude. You haven't,
I
mate.
won this one.
Yeah, I have won this war. I once knew. I don't know if it's my story or my brother's story. I think it was my brother's story. He stayed around a mate's house once, and he woke up and he heard somebody singing "We're All Going on the Summer Holiday" from the cupboard. And he opened up and his mate was sleepwalking, just doing a piss. There's a story for you.
Dave, you any pissing stories?
I do have pissing stories, but I won't record. I won't recite them on here.
Yeah, I think we should probably wrap this up.
I was young. And I didn't mean it.
All right, okay.
Sorry,
so,
Mum.
before we end the podcast, just another plug for the podcast competition that we currently got running. Do you love or hate Dark Souls 2? This isn't for you, Simon.
Okay.
And
I've already made 4 videos.
Share us why. Share us what? That doesn't make any sense.
Share with us.
Share with us your reasons why you either love or hate Dark Souls 2. And there are some really cool entries on there already. I think last week Steve made an offhand comment about you could do that in some form of interpretive dance.
No, I wanted to see interpretive dance.
And it's happened.
Okay.
And someone's made an excellent video.
Oh, wow. Can we do that? Can we do shout-outs? Can I see one as a wrestling promo? I'd like that. I'd like a wrestling promo.
People that don't do wrestling promos are going to feel like they've got less of a chance.
No, it's just for me.
Well, they have in life. So
yeah, exactly.
All right.
I just thought we'd do shout-outs. I'd like to see a wrestling promo. That'd be awesome.
Dave, what would you like to see? Pornography.
Yeah. Someone pissing while talking about Dark Souls 2, maybe.
Yes, that one.
No, don't know. If anyone sends that in, you're not winning. I'll tell you now.
Yeah,
don't scar my day.
But what if they're pissing on Dark Souls 2?
Well, that maybe change everything.
That would work. I mean, I don't agree with that.
Oh, no. Can we cut that? Because we would just get loads.
I don't think anyone will do that.
Oh,
well, now you've challenged them, haven't you?
No.
You've challenged
No, in all reality, don't send that in. Do not. If you send that in, we'll send cops around your house. I'm serious. I'm deadly serious.
Right. Okay, cool. And that was the Video Game UK podcast. Steve needs a wee. And yeah,
no, blood well piss, isn't it?
It really is.
Loads.
This has got so weird.
Bye.
I'm not sure where that ended.
Has it ended? Are we still going? Are we still recording?
I don't know.
Are we anymore? What's the table?
I can choose when to put this, but I don't know when.
His headphones are off.
Just fade as we continue to ramble into the night about absolute nonsense.
God.
Yeah, fucking hell.
There's always a queue for the toilet though. Birds, you better be.
Yeah, we need more toilets in this office.
Yeah.
And headphones. And mic stands that work.